Little black book, you know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is.
Two-Face has just announced his divorce from Annie. Now, before you go ahead calling Two-Face the devil, like some people are calling him, listen to what his brother had to say about Annie in 2021.
Everything. I am going to scatter everything. Nobody knows the rest of an angry woman. I will ruin everything.
His brother came out to say that Annie Idibia maltreats Two-Face at home, and she literally makes life unbearable for him. Everybody already knows that Two-Face is the cheating partner, and he's probably the one that's making Annie act this crazy. Being Annie and having lived with someone that is a cheat all through the years, to the point where it's now beginning to affect you mentally, I would think that the right thing to do is actually to like quit that marriage for everyone to go their separate ways. Them getting a divorce as a solution to all this constant toxicity between them might actually be the best thing that happened for them, because this thing has been on and going on over the years. I'll assume that Annie probably likes him so much that she cannot stand him cheating or doing anything that, anything that just pisses her off to that extent. And the reason this thing happens is because she probably likes him too much, because there's some women that with men that they love, that they call their husbands, but they don't give a fuck if they actually cheat. But she probably likes him too much that every single cheating activity or behavior pisses her off and makes her a mad person. So I just wanted to mention that everyone keeps saying this is not the best time to have announced it, but no one knows what's actually going on behind closed doors. No one knows the heat that this guy Two-Face was catching that made him come out to announce right now that the marriage is. Nobody knows exactly what's going on there. If you even go and watch that video of Two-Face announcing that yes, that he wasn't hacked, that they're actually getting a divorce, look into that guy's eyes. You notice that that isn't the usual Two-Face. Everyone was literally saying that this guy has pain in his eyes, and just coming out of the blues to announce this thing wasn't just ordinary. So let's be careful how they are calling people out and heaping blames. Yes, he has to take the blame of cheating continuously if actually that's actually what happened, and making her this maniac. But Annie on her own is an adult. She could have actually walked away, but she refused to walk away for reasons best known to her.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. Listen, Little Black Book, you know what time it is. Listen, I let the video play because I think it's important to always let the video talk for itself. Listen, if you don't know already, Annie and Tubaba are looking to be divorced, okay? And he's yet to bring up an official announcement as well, which is going to be happening very, very soon. But my thing here is this. My bigger issue is this. Look, I said Annie's a villain, and here's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is most of us oftentimes become the architect of the downfall of our relationships. We actually become the villain in our own story. And we look at other people and think that they are the issue and they are the problem. Here's one thing I want to just highlight. That if you are a giver and you give in a relationship, you must know your boundaries of how much you can give. You must also know your boundaries in terms of how much you can take. You must also know where you begin and where you end. This is what we call boundaries. When you are boundaryless, understand that somebody will take more from you and you will have less. That's the whole point of being boundary filled. Now, am I blaming her for Tubaba doing what he's doing? No. I want to make it very, very clear. Tubaba has no integrity. That's why he was cheating on her. It's just as simple as that. There's nothing else to it. Okay, all right? There's nothing else to it. Like, you can't stop a person from cheating. That's their integrity. That's their character. That's their decision. That's their action. So she has no claim on that. What I'm talking about is becoming a villain by staying so long that it's built up a relationship of resentment, anger, frustration, pain, to the fact we can hear that in the video. Right, that was a couple of years ago. It wasn't even recent. And the reason why is because when you overstay and you overpromise yourself that you are going to change a person, actually is from a place of fear that you want to control the aspect and control the relationship and control the person. Because of your fear of abandonment, it will make you want to control the other person and keep them as long as possible. The problem is you're keeping hot coals in your hand. And as you're keeping hot coals in your hands are burning. And this is a very important lesson for anybody. Don't keep somebody longer than they need to be kept. If you don't want them, let them go. Just like Moses. You see what happened with Pharaoh and Moses? The reason why Pharaoh got hit so hard is because not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, not 7 times, not 8 times, not 9 times, but on the 10th occasion did he finally get it to his brain. Let my people go. When you hold on and you try to manipulate people to stay longer than they really need to, this is what happens. Am I saying don't fight for your marriage? Absolutely not. You should fight for your marriage. But you shouldn't be fighting when somebody clearly is looking to leave you and they're willing to, quote unquote, again, allegedly, cheat on you consistently throughout the course of the relationship. That's why she's a villain, and that's why you will be a villain if you end up staying. All the suffering that you end up doing will not amount to what you believe it should do. You believe you're deserving of a recompense, and you believe you're deserving of a reward. And the problem is with that is that that's not how relationships work. In fact, the more you stay, the more ugly you become. The more you stay, the more unattractive you become, because the person who is doing this dirtiness to you is actually wishing that you would end the relationship. Now they're a coward too, because they should have ended it a long time ago, and they should have let you go, but instead they used you and your resources and used your time and your energy, and so they are a bastard for that. Let's just be honest, they're a bastard for that, because they could have quit a long time ago. But I've always said this: you ever gone into a shop before? Imagine a shopkeeper tells you, listen, everything in here is free, you can take whatever you want. So you start taking stuff little by little. Every day you come, every day you come, every day you come. Yeah. One day the shopkeeper then gets angry because he wants you to pay, but he never told you. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and they get frustrated and frustrated. And one day he shouts and screams at you, and you're like, wait, what's going on? I thought you said everything here was for free. He said, no, why do you think it'll be free? You're taking advantage of me. Oh, was I supposed to know? You told me everything here was free. That's the equivalent of being in a relationship and not setting boundaries and not honoring your own boundaries and being true to them. That's why I said she's a villain of her own story. Now, let me be very honestly, Tubaba is a real villain here, okay? Because in all honesty, right, just because somebody says it's free doesn't mean you should rob them. Right? Like if I say the shop is free, but doesn't mean you should rob me. You know what I'm saying to you? Like there's a common courtesy that we say. There's a common courtesy that we have for each other. There's manners that we have for each other. You know, asking please, thank you. Is it okay if I still take? Right? There's all those things that come into play. There's respect that we should have for one another. Right? And this is the mother of his kids. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh damn. You know what I'm saying? And I watched another video, and I hopefully I can play it as well. This is a video here. Listen to it. Watch this.
That's how she says it.
She's that blunt. She just says it.
She doesn't even.
There's a question by the interviewer.
That's what I think. It's just the way we are.
Smile.
Let's go to Sorry, I'll
like,
go back to
yeah, we've been on for. You see, he's hiding. Three things about him.
Is big now.
He can't get bigger than this. Three things about him that just still makes you smile.
His humor.
His humor, okay.
Three things.
Three things. Why are you looking the other way now?
I don't want to influence that.
You don't want to influence her.
I use I to give out
I don't know. I think it's just the way he is, where we are.
Yeah, you see how Annie was struggling to say three things that make her smile? Yeah, you've overstayed your welcome. Okay. Now, of course, in a normal relationship, you can get to that point naturally. But because it was also, quote unquote, again, alleged cheating, plus that's making me feel like, you know what, you're at a point where it's actually painful to even think about some of the things that you actually done. Now, when they go on later on, because they asked you about the same question, what makes you smile? What makes you smile about Annie? What does Annie do that makes you smile in a sense? And you see the struggle of him trying to come up with a real answer. This shows you that a couple that is disconnected has been disconnected for a long time. They've been disconnected because there is no trust. There is no real authentic love. We can call it, you can call it longevity and stamina, staying in a marriage for so long. But when you are being maltreated and mistreated, what's the point? What's the point of saying we've stayed a long time?
Very, very. How do I describe it now? She's still a very, very young at heart person. Like,
Really?
Like almost naive sometimes. Like, like that innocent person.
Innocent, goody goody.
And,
Are you serious?
And once she wants to say anything, as the thing comes to her mouth, that's how she says it.
She's that blunt. She just says it.
She doesn't even.
Really?
Especially like, apart from the bluntness, like pronunciations and stuff. She wants to say, I went to Abuja yesterday. And she says, I went to Abuja yesterday.
I know he's not correcting her English because, boy, your English ain't too tight either, Tubaba. But, again, he actually said more than what she said, to be honest. In regards to that, but I think it's a key indication that, listen, just because you stay long doesn't mean that you actually are happy, and you should always be aiming for some level of happiness within a relationship. Am I saying you won't always be happy? No, but you should be always aiming for that, right? And there are going to be moments where you're going to have to be unhappy for a little while because things are not going to go the exact way you want it to go, right? Our relationship with God is the exact same way. It's not every day that you're smiling. Some days you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? But you plow on. that's natural ebbs and flows of a relationship, but not when it's at the result of that you've been mistreated and maltreated in a relationship. When you are getting that and you're being disrespected, you're going to become you're going to become your own villain. Why? Because you see, men need that boundary, just like women do. Men need a boundary. They need to know that they can't disrespect you and get away with it. Right now, of course, there's a lot of us who wouldn't even want to do that anyway. We wouldn't dream of it because in our mind, our character and our heart is not to do that to you. But there are some people that unfortunately don't do that, right? And that doesn't mean they're going to stop cheat on you. But what it does mean is you are willing to walk away if it need be so that you can save your mental. We've done 10, 15, 20 years almost with Annie and Tababa. And remember when he first started, I think they were together, he had baby mothers before then. This wasn't the person you needed to be with. But again, she was very young. She was 15. The advice probably wouldn't have been so excellent. But it's painful. It's painful. That's why we heard that voice note where she was almost crying on the phone, telling she's going to burn it all down. Yeah, of course, because she feels like she's been betrayed. You know what I'm saying? She feels like I've been betrayed. So I totally understand and I get it. But listen, we're going to leave it there. Look, I'm sure we're going to have more information coming out later on. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate it. We'd love to hear more of your thoughts. But I want to say again, listen, don't be a villain in your own story. Make sure that you set boundaries, okay? Know where you begin and where you end. You don't have to be codependent and find yourself having to pick up all the pieces of your relationship and be the one that's actually, being Samson holding the relationship together. You must understand there is a time to stand back and allow the other person and party to be able to be involved as well. All right. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked, loaded. We'll see you again. Little black book. You know what time it is.